in Tony Perkins. He's the president of the Family Research Council and joins us now. Tony, so with this likely Oval Office, Senate, House trifecta, what do you think should be the top priority for the GOP come January?
Well, John, I think it's keeping their promises. That is, getting our economy moving forward, cutting government spending, and making the world safe again. I mean, that was a very decisive choice by the American people. They had a choice before them, whether it was strength versus weakness, growth versus continued decline, or life versus death. I mean, when you look at what Kamala Harris was campaigning on about expanding abortion until birth, it's very interesting that she received less percentage of the women vote than Joe Biden did in 2020. That tells me that women in America are more concerned about feeding their children than aborting them.
Tony, so we're hearing names, the administration coming together, Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. What do you make of the picks President-elect Trump is making so far?
Well, right now, I'm pretty encouraged by what I see. I think Marco Rubio has a track record of being an advocate for religious freedom. And if you recall back during the first Trump administration when Mike Pompeo was Secretary of State, who did a great job, religious freedom wasn't top priority versus exporting abortion and the LGBTQ agenda. So encouraged by that. I think Kristi Noem will do a good job at Homeland Security. Looking to see who will be at the Department of Defense. That was a department that the president never got a handle on in his first term. And of course, as you mentioned a moment ago, the Attorney General is going to be a key pick. I think there's some really good people that are in the mix for that. And very excited about the announcement of Mike Huckabee being selected as ambassador to Israel.
As you just alluded, the U.S. Attorney General is a big pick. The New York Times reporting that this is something that Trump is focusing on. What qualities do you think are needed to effectively lead the DOJ at this time in American history?
There's two places, well, actually I would say three, where the deep state is alive and well. It would be at the State Department, it would be at the Department of Defense, and the Department of Justice. So I think you're going to have someone with strong determination that understands justice and what that means and rooting it out. And I've known the previous three attorney generals who have been in there and have attempted to do that. It is a difficult job, but you can see we are much further along in the Trump administration and this incoming administration in these selections. He knows what needs to be done based upon his experience the first time. And so I am very optimistic that he's going to achieve his goals that he laid out for the American people. I think, John and Jenna, this is an opportunity for the church to be praying. I do think we need the president to have great wisdom, to be surrounded by godly counsel, and pray that they would be successful in making America strong and morally whole. I mean, that's the role of the church. The government can't do that, but this is an opportunity to exercise our religious freedoms to begin repairing the moral foundation of this country.
Tony, just a few seconds left, but any guesses on who else Trump might pick for some of these positions?
I have some ideas, but I don't want to. I'm not at liberty to share some of those names. But there's some good picks out there. I am very optimistic by the selection the president is making.
All right.
We respect that. Tony Perkins with the Family Research Council and Washington Watch. Thank you so much for your time tonight.